Good morning and welcome to the Elevate Renatus team call. Today is Wealth Wednesday. It is June 10th. My name is Keely. This is your host. And today we get to learn from Daine Clark. Daine Clark is someone who gets to spend every Wednesday morning with us and trains with us what is working for him. And he has a really a great way of just sharing whatever's on his mind. I just love his technique and his way of training. Before Renatus, Daine was working two jobs. He was working for Apple, and he was actually kind of shy at the time and working in the back. And he was also a roofer. He was a roofer because that's what his dad did. And with fair skin, being in the sun all day was certainly not really working out for Daine. At the time, he was barely making ends meet, and he started to look for other income opportunities. After finding Renatus, he plugged into the Renatus system and listened to his mentors. And he ended up applying the Velocity banking to pay down debt and then used that as leverage as a down payment for a duplex. And he lived in one side of the duplex and rented out the other. If we fast forward to today, now Daine has raised over $12 million from different investors to lend on his real estate transactions. And his secret to that is consistency and frequency. He has grown his team. He is recognized by our CEO, Bob Snyder, as a key leader, and he is on the PIT, meaning he is in training to be on the President's Advisory Council. We are so fortunate to get to learn from Daine this morning. Good morning, Daine. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great, Keely. Thank you so much for that intro yet again. How are you doing, though?
Doing great. Thank you.
Oh, good. Good morning, Renatus Nation as well. I'm super excited to be here. I already got some people chat. Look at this. Look at this, Dustin. He knows what to do. Yeah, let's get going. Let's get this thing going. So if you know what to do, go ahead and start. I love hearing how many people were you able to talk to about Renatus in the last 7 days, because all wealth is created through conversation. All wealth is created through conversation. So how many people were you able to talk to, get them to an event, get them to a follow-up, get them to a private one-on-one, get them to a virtual house tour, Super Saturday, intensive, you name it? How many people were you able to do? And for those of you who don't know why I do this, if you might be new, I track this every single week for myself. I could tell you how many one-on-ones I've done for the last few years even. I could tell you how much money I, in a way, indirectly make per one-on-one. So last year, for example, I think I did 261 one-on-ones and made around 900 some odd dollars per one-on-one. And so it's all in learning how to present the plan in the one-on-one. In my opinion, of course, there's other people that say, no, one to many, right? But for me, it was, you know what? I'm going to learn how to present the plan one-on-one in front of somebody if that already knows that it costs as much as $23,000. And for me, like that was the way that I learned how to close real estate deals. That was the way that I learned how to close combo sales. That was the way that I learned how to raise money, because I figured, you know what? I need to learn this skill because it's a total skill, right? Like Keely was saying, I was afraid of people when I joined Renatus. I feel like Renatus has been kind of like my break out of my shell personal development company. I mean, yeah, we do real estate, right? But all right, great job. We got a bunch of people chiming in here. Andy, we're the leadership team is talking about this Super Saturday in a few hours from now, so I'll know who's doing it in a few hours. But all right, so Dustin had one. Great job, brother. Sherry had one as well. Alvin had one sign up and also in essentials. Talk to 5. Keely had 3 guests, 1 follow-up, 1 funded essentials. Congratulations, you two. Amy had 7 invites for tonight. That's awesome. Great job. Let's see. Sandra had 3. Berta had 2 one-on-ones. Great job. Miguel had 2 one-on-ones. Rick Steiner had 6 follow-ups, 2 ICMs, 1 essentials, 1 profits, 1 epics. Great job, brother. You're killing it. Absolutely killing it. Scarlett had 2. David and Gilda 3 one-on-ones and some on, or some probably in intro. Great job. Miguel, very close to close one, hopefully. Nice, man. Nice. Let us know if there's any way we can help. Levi had 1. Lisa, 2 in intro. Ahmad had 2 guests coming tonight. Let's see. Sherry had 5 connections, 4 commitments to attend intro tonight. Great job. Leslie Quinn had 4. Man, good job, guys. Great job. Let's see. Ahmad is brand new. Ooh, Ahmad is brand new. Already has guests. Would you look at that? Great job. Thanks, Lisa, because Ahmad is so humble, and so thank you, Lisa, for helping him out there. So welcome, brother. Welcome as well. You probably already are loving this family, and we love each other here. So you'll fit right in. So cool. So let's let me take a question. So you know who you are. Every single week, I love interacting. Let's give somebody some mentorship to help them take their business to the next step, to whatever is standing in front of you. And you know who you are. Just jump off of mute and interrupt me. Let's try and get somebody new. If you're somebody that has never had the courage to come off of mute and ask a question in front of everybody, you know who you are, right? Just interrupt me. But I love helping somebody in front of everybody to say, hey, like, let's break down. Let's see what's going on. Because everybody always learns something in real life, just like this. Sounds like I got somebody off of mute, though, so I'm going to shut up.
Hey,
Go
Daine.
ahead.
Daine, can you hear me?
Miguel. Yes,
It's
Miguel. What's up, brother? How you doing?
I'm good, man. I like to hear your content, man. You're pretty good. I guess my question, I was on a 1-on-1 with my 5-star.
Mm-hmm.
We spent 3 hours last Sunday with him. We got him to apply for Get Funded online, and I guess the question for me is, what are the chances for him to not move forward after someone is interested? What have you seen in your experience? Once somebody says yes, let me jump in the wagon with you guys. I'm excited. I'm gonna apply. He gets qualified, but then I haven't heard from him. We had also yesterday. I text him, and I don't know. It's just I don't know.
Yeah, I hear you. So right off the bat, the first thing I think I could tell you is don't think like that, right? Don't sabotage it. Don't treat them as if like, holy crap, like, is this really happening? Or is he gonna, so for one, like, I choose to believe every single person that I talk to, if they tell me like, yes, let's put my order in. Yes, let's get my funding application started. I choose to believe like, cool, yeah, this is normal, right? Of course, let's get this in, right? This is normal. And if they all of a sudden go ghost on me, I act surprised, as if like, holy crap, like what, like something happened, like, are you okay? Like, is there like a life threatening, did something happen? Because what's crazy is oftentimes you'll be right. They still want to do this, but something has come into their life, whether that's doubt or fear or somebody else or some kind of health, mom died or something. I feel like in my experience, something happened to cause them to be a little bit skittish like that. but it will come off as though, you know, you're going to feel like, holy crap, like, did I just get like hardcore rejected here? Like, what's going on? Right. And so it's funny because I feel like 9 times out of 10, when this happens to me, it's because something else did happen. And I got to find out, you know, if you've been on any of my calls and you've heard me talk about, we are just detectives. Like, it's time to be a detective. You know, if you're getting ghosted, something's going on in his life, and he probably needs to have somebody reach out who cares about what's going on in his life, instead of just like, hey, you know, let me put your money in to this, you know, just to join this family or family, whatever we want to call this. Right. So in my opinion, act surprised. Like, hey bro, you know, is everything okay? I haven't heard from you. You know, has anything happened? You know, friends, family, you know, whatever. Act concerned. And here's the way that I do it. In fact, let me give you kind of like my overall script. Usually if somebody's like ghosting me like this, then the best response rate I've ever had is this. Okay, so let's say you are ghosting me, Miguel. And so I'm texting you. And so my text to you is be like, hey Miguel, I feel like I may need to apologize for something. Oftentimes, you know, when I'm talking to people and all of a sudden like something happens, either something happens in their life that is causing, you know, a little bit of stress where they just can't, you know, they don't want to touch base, or I may have said or done something that I need to apologize. And so Miguel, if am I at all in the right, you know, in the right space to be thinking, or am I in the right space to assume that I may need to apologize to you for something that I may have said or done? Dude, send him something like that, because then he knows that you care about him, right? Because I, you know,
Yeah,
and I believe that you really
I
do.
can I can hear myself responding to that text for sure.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Because if you say, dude, do I need to apologize for something? Like, more often than not, they're going to be like, oh, no, it's not you, it's me. You know, and like, they'll actually communicate with you. I've actually had people totally come back and still purchase, you know, and how would I say this? Basically recover from like just a straight up ghosting when I do stuff like that. Doesn't happen every time. Sometimes it actually uncover, you know, they still respond, but then it uncovers where they're just like, you know, I just really thinking about this, and I just can't do this right now, right? But at least I got closure, and that's what I appreciated.
Hey, Daine, could
So
you repeat that or put it in the chat, please?
yes, yeah. Who is this? Is this Alvin?
Yes.
All right. So yeah, let's see. Because if I type it out, it'll take a little bit extra time. So here, let me try one more time.
Okay.
Might be a little bit different, but let's say, you know, me and you, Alvin, you know, you're ghosting me, and so I write up a text and I say, hey Alvin, I noticed that you hadn't responded in the last little while. You know, sometimes when this happens, it's because either something's happened in your life, or I may need to apologize for something that I might have said or done. Would I be safe to assume that that might be the case here? That I need to apologize? You know, obviously you don't need to repeat that again, but would I be safe to assume that that might be the case here, that I need to apologize for something I may have said or done? And just keep it simple like that.
Okay, thanks, Daine.
Yep. So cool. That was a quick one. Any other questions really fast before we chime into what I've got prepared for us? Anybody need a little extra help?
Yeah, I have a question.
What to say? Yeah, go ahead. Is this
So,
Terry? Oh no, this is Ahmad. Just
yeah,
kidding.
So, if you could say, do you have 3 do's and 3 don't that you would say to prospects? what not say to prospects.
So you kind of broke up there. Do I have three what?
Do's and don'ts.
3 do's and 3 don'ts.
Yeah, like stuff to say and not to say.
Stuff to say and not to say. Yeah, let's start with the not to say. So things not to say to a prospect. But this does depend on when in the process. Are you saying like in your prospecting, or somebody who already knows, like, oh yeah, this is Renata's, this costs $20,000.
Somebody
23.
For somebody you already know, you already have a relationship with.
Yeah. All right. So somebody you already know, but they don't know Renata's yet.
Right.
Okay, perfect. So prospect phase, somebody you know. Things that I do not like to say, like, hey, I just bought a program, you should look at this, or hey, I just purchased something, you should look at this. Don't do stuff like that. People will like avoid you like the plague. A couple more don'ts. Don't be like, hey, I just joined. Like, stay away from that word. Hey, I just joined a community. I just joined a real estate investor group. Would love to show you what I'm doing. I just joined, stuff like that. I would stick away from that. Let me think of one more. Don't say. I can't think of anything else. If it comes to me, I'll share it. But yeah, stay away from things that like, hey, I just had money leave my pocket. Do you want to see what I just spent my money on?
Mm-hmm.
To see if you want to spend it too. I'd stick away from anything that like alludes or makes their brain turn to something like that. Now, things that you can say, or that I have had a lot of success with, in prospecting, in the prospecting phase. So here's a personal favorite one, and this is the most simple, and this is the one that I want you to remember more than any of the other do's that I give you. So one is just say the words. I don't care what you say before these words. I don't care what you say after these words. I don't care what the context is either, right? Literally, you could blurt this out in the middle of a different conversation with somebody, but here's the words, right? And say it just like this, in this very order. Don't change it. Investing in real estate, right? So let me reiterate. I don't care what you say before that phrase. I don't care what you say after that. I don't care what the context is. You could be talking about, oh yeah, my wife and I are about to have another baby. Like, oh my gosh, that's so cool. Hey, have you guys ever considered getting involved in real estate investing? I just met a real estate investor that started investing in the same month that he had his first kid. And he told him, I'm just telling my own story here, but you always tell other people's stories, right? So you find a story that relates to them, right? And so you say the words investing in real estate because of what they say, and then you just find a story like, yeah, so I just met a real estate investor. So my wife actually had a baby 2 weeks after we bought our first fix and flip. Back in the day, that was a big deal. I shouldn't have done that. Anybody that could have looked at me and given me advice, I should not have done that. I should not have bought Renata's. My wife was 6 months pregnant, right? And so anyway, you just start telling stories. So somebody's like, oh my gosh, like we just bought a new house, and we're moving in, whatever. Like, oh my gosh, have you ever considered investing in real estate? I just met a guy that this real estate investor started breaking down how he bought a house for him and his wife, and they learned these neat banking strategies, and basically like got their house pregnant, and now they have all these rental properties and they live for free. Have you ever considered investing in real estate yourself? Right? So that's a favorite one. Just say that phrase. Don't care what you say before it. Don't care what you say after it. You will break the ice, and you will find out if that person is interested in talking about real estate, right? That's the first step. Do people like talking about real estate investing, or do they not? And if they do, then I think you got a live one. If they don't, then like, move on. Right. So that's my first do. Just say the words, investing in real estate. Now, some people get afraid to talk to friends or family. And so I've got a couple of ways, this is me. This is just straight up like me. This is how I get around fear, by just saying, you know what, I need to have reasons, right? To me, if I have reasons, then fear goes away, because I can actually tell somebody like, hey, here's why I'm reaching out to you. And it's not to just sign you up for a program. It's like, hey, I want to have a real estate conversation, right? And so here's one way as well that I do to break the ice, right? So one way is like, hey, I'm actually taking a class, and the instructor, I just watched a real estate investor break down how he trades in all of his mortgages, right? You have a mortgage, right? Okay, yeah. So I just watched a real estate investor break down how he traded in his mortgages, and got lines of credit. And so he basically traded in amortization, front-loaded interest for daily simple average. And he's been able to turn around and pay properties off in like a third of the time, and use those lines to buy more real estate. You haven't heard of anybody doing anything like this, right? My part of the class is that I need to do a survey to 5 people to just see if the 5 people have even heard of people using strategies like getting rid of their amortization loans and trading it in for daily simple average. Have you ever done anything like that? Right. And so basically you come up with a reason. I have been tasked by my class that I'm taking right now to do a survey to find out if people even know about this. Right. And so you could start talking about buying properties with other people's mortgages, subject to, essentially. You could start talking about saving taxes, cost segregation. You could start talking about, buying properties using other people's money. You could talk about finding real estate deals with, at $100,000 discounts. You could, anything that you can find inside of the Renatus education. Oh, buying properties using tax liens. Hey, have you ever, you start talking about, I just saw a real estate investor break down how he bought a property for $5,000 because he bought a tax lien, and that tax lien went to the tax auction and nobody bought it. And so he bought a whole property for $5,000 and was able to go and turn around and sell that for like $35,000, $40,000 out in Ohio. Have you ever heard of anybody doing something like this? Right. And so I call that one the survey. And so you still say the words investing in real estate, but you just kind of sugarcoat it by doing things like that. Hey, somebody else asked me to talk to you about real estate investing, right? Because then it kind of takes the pressure off.
Daine, is there any way you could take any part of this and post it on Facebook or LinkedIn?
I need to, don't I? I totally need to. In fact, what I'll do is I will, as soon as we're done with this call, usually I like to try, and I haven't done it for a couple of weeks, but usually I like to try and jump on the Facebook post that Keely started for us, and then just do a bunch of notes, just a bunch of thoughts. And so maybe what I'll do is I'll just like put the scripts in the messages in the Facebook group that this is streaming live to right now. And I'll just type those out real fast. Okay. So let's see, you asked me for 3 do's. Another one would be, just again, breaking the ice, sounds like, to people that that don't know Renatus yet. Instead of being like, hey, like I've been tasked with a survey, like they're straight up just like direct. In fact, this is crazy. Literally, I've had people get 5-star by just going to the people that they know and just being like, hey, I think I'm going to start investing in real estate. And for some reason, I'm thinking about you. And I wanted to talk to you. Have you ever considered getting involved in real estate investing too? Or do you already invest in real estate yourself? Right. And so you almost make it sound like God willed it that you guys are talking about real estate, that their name came up in your mind to talk to about real estate. You know what's crazy is 9 times out of 10, right? If right, notice that somebody is going to come to your mind right now as I'm telling this to you. Somebody is going to come to your mind, right? So watch this. So you sit down, you talk to somebody, and you say, "Hey, I've been thinking about getting involved in real estate investing. The first thing I thought of was who instead of how. The first thing I started thinking about was who else can I talk to that might be a good connection to talk to about real estate?" And your name was one of the first names that popped up in my mind. Right? So notice, everybody on this call right now, notice the person that came to your mind as I said this. That is not on accident. That is not by accident. The name of some person came to your mind. As I was telling you this, try it. Literally try going to them and say, "Hey, I'm getting involved in real estate investing. I've seen too much. I've seen too many real estate investors just break away with time freedom, with financial freedom, with money freedom. I'm getting involved. And you know what? The first thing I started thinking about is who else can I talk to about this?" And your name was one of the first names that came up. I would love to see if you're also interested in getting involved. Right? People will respond to that, because seriously, it makes them feel excuse me, makes them feel important. Like, holy cow, like, and literally, mark my words, if you try this, yeah, some people will probably, you might get a little rejection, but literally some people will be like, "Holy crap, are you kidding me? I've been thinking about getting involved in real estate investing myself." This is exactly how I raised my first $1 million to put into real estate, by this very thing that I'm telling you right now. Spoke to a guy. I had no idea where it was going to go. No idea where it was going to go. I said this, I said these phrases, and he goes, "Holy cow, Daine, I've loved real estate. In fact, I'm crazy busy, successful business owner, got a lot of money, but don't have a lot of time. And so I've wanted to get into real estate, but I just haven't done it. I've been running my business." And so he and I had that conversation, and this gentleman has funded over $1 million in real estate that I've been able to go purchase and buy and turn into a profit. And this same gentleman has sent me referrals from people who have given me over, oh my gosh, probably $3 or $4 million between the referrals, and has also led to Renata students and real estate deals and everything else, right? So mark my words, if you had a human come into your mind as I've been telling you these things, that is not by accident. So don't treat it by accident. They came to your mind because you need to talk to that person. And just say the words investing in real estate. You can't say the wrong thing to the right person. You can't say the right thing to the wrong person. So just say the words investing in real estate, see where it goes. So hope that helps, Ahmed, and hope that helps everybody else as well. Let me check comments real fast, make sure I got any questions here. Let's see. Yes, it's being recorded. Oh, thank you, Keely. I'm not screen sharing yet. Yeah, I haven't shared my screen yet. All right, let's share the screen. I got some stuff for you guys. So a couple of weeks ago, I had somebody, or I had a whole training where I just like busted out all the rejection that I've had in the previous couple of weeks. In my opinion, was a very, very good training. People needed to hear that. And you know what's crazy? I needed to teach that, because I mean, I'm human just like anybody else. And I, sometimes I kind of believe that because I came from a shy background that I'm a little more susceptible to rejection than some people. But again, it's just what we believe, right? Everything in life is just what we believe. And so I've actually had an opportunity to kind of get over that, you know what, rejection doesn't just affect me, Daine. Like I can get through this, right? Yeah, I got some people in my not interested box, but who cares? So I want to share a couple of stories, because even though I got all that rejection from all those people, I had some neat things happen to me because I didn't give up. From even the people who ended up or were my worst nightmare. I shouldn't say that, worst nightmare, because any of you that have seen me teach on the 4 boxes, it's inevitable. It is absolutely inevitable. There will be more people not interested in what we have to offer than those who are. It's law of averages, right? And so a couple of neat stories. I'm not sure if I'll have, it's funny, I'm a pacer, so I'm like walking around here. Let me grab my iPad and take it with me. So I told, I remember exact ones, cherry picked and told, but one of the stories was a gentleman, and he actually is in the Facebook group. So there's an ICM. So I'm not sure if he, I mean, he's not on this call right now, I would imagine, but I'm actually okay if he hears this, because he's a student now. I'm actually okay if he hears this. But so yeah, I'm sure. So Thomas, I met Thomas towards the end of last year. In fact, it was right around Thanksgiving of last year. Everybody, if you
Your audio is cutting out.
but I always start. Shoot. Here, let me. I bet you it's because I'm holding my iPad now and I'm like pacing back and forth. Put this on top.
Yeah.
And
Stop
I will leave
pacing.
it in place. How's this? Can you guys hear me okay? Am I okay? How's this? Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Or am I still cutting out? Much better? Okay.
You're fine now.
Okay, cool. I'll just leave my iPad right there. Okay, so here we go. In the process is, right, I have to create intrigue from somebody. That's my job. That is what I do as a detective, is create intrigue. Okay. The second process, or the second step in my plan, is that anybody who has created intrigue, or anybody who has developed an intrigue is that I'm doing, I need to do 2 things for them. I need to show them a lot of value at the same time as showing them, oh, by the way, this could probably cost as much as $28,741. Okay, so in other words, drop price. And this is the max. Let's see how I do this. The most that anybody could ever spend is $20,741 over the course of 3 years. Okay, and so that's step 2. So intrigue, we just talked about a bunch of ways that I create the intrigue. And it's just saying the words investing in real estate this way, that way, the other way. You can get creative, you can get simple. You can have it like, oh my gosh, fate. We talked about that. The second thing is I like to create the value. And so the value usually will be like, hey, on let's do a group event, right? Oh, on Wednesday night, on Thursday night, on Saturday morning, whatever, we're doing a group event live. These days it's oftentimes on Zoom, or it might be in person. Things are, a few things have been opening up, and so I've been hearing that some communities have been able to touch base live, but not everybody, right? So this might be on Zoom or live. Either way, it will start coming back to normal. I've heard that things are opening up and all that kind of stuff, but anyway, so either way, live. Or the second most, let's see, I'm actually ordering these in the order where I've made the most money. All right, so I've made the most money by doing the group events, right? Where if somebody's intrigued, then I get them to come to a live event, right? Come and meet more people than just me, because this gives you credibility, right? That you're borrowing credibility from the community by showing them that there's a lot more people involved than just you, right? The second most money that I've made is send them a recording of the live presentation, right? So for example, we've got like Michael Huggins. He's got a bunch of briefing intro follow-up videos. Bob Snyder himself has a bunch of briefing intro follow-up videos. Scott Rowe has a bunch of those, same types of videos. And so the second most amount of money that I've made is by having somebody go to the live. Now, step 3 is that I like to sit with them one-on-one. So one-on-one to present the plan, right? One-on-one to sit down and say, hey, here is the here's the plan, right? Here's the 3-phase, how you can get into, doing what you want to do in real estate plan, right? And so oftentimes this is where the order goes in. Right, so this is one-on-one. This is where I put people's order in. It has changed just a little bit with the new Helios. Because it's been a little bit of a learning curve for all of us, things like that. So sometimes I don't put the order in this second meeting, but we basically just talk about it, right? Basically I just say, the thing I need to know from you right now is, are you doing this or not? Or do you want to do this or not? And I'll show you what the next step is, right? Anyway, so let me tell a story. I had a gentleman, what did we name him? Thomas. So Thomas had the intrigue, reached out to me, we started talking. Here we are, oh yeah, I really want to get into real estate. I'm a young guy, just got married, and yada, yada, yada. Gets the intrigue. He cannot make it because he works. Oh, this is crazy. He actually works at the Apple store. It was kind of funny. This is one of the reasons why we kind of hit it off. I was like, oh my gosh, do you know? We both know a bunch of the same people. And so he could not make it to the group live events. Again, this was last year when things were just humming like normal. Oh, am I breaking up again? Or did somebody come off of mute on accident?
You're fine.
Okay, cool. Let me mute everybody. All right, here we go. Okay, so he comes to I send him a recording and schedule the one-on-one, right? Now, if you've ever seen me do this, this is an art to do this path, right? For somebody to go in this path, right? This is an art. So if I actually back this up, if they cannot come to a live event, here's actually how I do it. As soon as I've got the intrigue, where we're talking real estate, right? And I will not spend, this is less than 15 minutes, right? If I got somebody who's intrigued, then I basically start like a mental clock. I will talk to an intrigued person for 15 minutes or less, because you want to maintain that intrigue. You do not want to satisfy it, period, right? And so we're talking and I got like a mental clock. We're talking real estate, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy's actually interested in talking real estate. And so I'm looking at my clock basically like, okay, cool. I'm going to cut this off. I don't care what we're talking about. In 15 minutes, we're done, right? And I'll just get him to come to a meeting, okay? And so that 15 minutes goes by. I try to invite him to a group event. He can't because he has to work. And I say, okay, tell you what, how about, let me change colors here. How about you and I sit down one-on-one? I want to show you my plan for what I've been doing in getting myself more real estate deals, or getting into real estate deals, whatever. Here's my plan. or I want to show you my plan, and let's see if we can actually be a little more effective putting our heads together than working apart. And he's like, oh my gosh, that would be so amazing. Yeah, that would be great. I would love to sit down and talk about that topic, basically, right? Of me showing him my plan, right? Everybody in here better have a plan, right? You got a plan for helping Renata students. You got a plan for Renata students going through their education so they can pick up real estate deals, you know, whatever. Even if your plan is simple like mine, that you could draw it out on a napkin, in my opinion, that's the best way to do it. But you know, you gotta have. And so anyway, so he's like, yeah, that'd be so amazing. I say, cool. When can you sit down? Oh, we can meet on, you know, Tuesday at 5 p.m. You know, whatever. I can't remember what it was, but so I schedule it. I go straight from intrigue to scheduling when we're gonna chat. So this might be like Friday of that previous week. So we're talking on a Friday. I'm like, yeah, let's meet on Tuesday next week at 5 p.m. and we'll sit down and we'll talk. I want to show you my plan that's been working for me and for a lot of people that I'm working with. Okay. If you've never even done a real estate deal, you could totally say that. Like, yeah, let me show you this plan. This has been working this has been working for me because you're working it. And this has been working for a lot of people. People have made a lot of money doing this that I'm talking to or that I'm working with. Okay. So anyway, I schedule it, right? Now, this is the most important part. I pull it back and say, oh, by the way, are you okay if I send you a recording of a training that's actually going to talk a little bit about, you know, how I got my start and you know, it's going to actually share with you some neat real estate strategies and you know, so you'll learn some stuff, take some notes. But are you okay if I have you watch that before you and I sit down to this meeting, right? I have never, ever, ever had anybody say no to that question, ever. Never had anybody say no. 100% yes ratio. Okay. And so I asked him that. So, oh yeah, so basically we have our meeting scheduled. Today is Friday. We're meeting on Tuesdays. So we got a few days. And I say, oh, will you actually watch this video before you and I meet on Tuesday? And he goes, oh, absolutely. Okay. And so I reroute him instead of him going straight to here. He's like, he has to come back and he has to watch this video. And I basically tell him, right? So I get him to say yes, I'll watch a video. Cool. It's like an hour and a half long. Are you sure that you could finish an hour and a half long video about real estate investing before you and I sit down? Again, 100% yes ratio to that question. And he's like, oh yeah, hour and a half. Yeah, I could get that done. I could probably watch that on Sunday. Okay, great. Yeah, have that done. Have that done before we meet, because I actually want to pick up right where this recording is going to, you know, right where this guy is going to leave off on, you know, talking about some real estate investing strategies. This is somebody that I've been following, you know, for years or months or weeks or whatever. And I love what this guy puts down, you know, whatever it is. Talk about the person that's going to do the presentation and just about how you really like that person. Anyway, so he's like, yeah, I'll watch the video. Okay, great. Watch that video before we meet. Bam. Right. So there's my technique.
So Daine, what are you sending him? But what are you sending him?
So Michael Huggins has one of these. I love Michael's. Scott Rowe has one of these. I personally love listening to Scott Rowe. The dude is a machine. He's been doing presentations for decades. He's a pro. He's
what if you
absolute professional. Bob has one of these. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what if you want to send Bob Snyder's?
I had a question.
Would you go? Yeah. What if you wanted to send Bob
Mm-hmm.
Snyder's? Would you say it's 2.5 hours long? I mean, how would you handle that? Because it's going to be over an hour if they go through the whole system.
However long the actual video is that I'm sending them. Because if you send them Bob's, so Bob's is going to have, you know, the briefing, the intro, and the follow-up. And so I would just want them to get through the intro. That's it.
Okay. So would
So
you
get
would
through the
you,
intro?
would you not send them the free? I mean, like, let's say I have a link that goes to my AMP videos. So would I have them watch the briefing for 3 minutes and the intro, or should I figure out a way to just send them to the intro? Because you can do that in Helios.
Oh, you can? You can just send the intro?
You can one time, I think it's like a link that says one time
Okay, cool.
intro.
Okay. I just do the intro because you already did the briefing. In my opinion, the intrigue section, that is the briefing, right? If you're talking real estate and they are excited about it, to me, like, that was the briefing, right? They're, oh yeah, like, I want more of what we're talking about right now. Then you say, cool. And so I just give them the whole potato, and I do the hours plus long intro video, right? So those three: Michael Huggins, Scott Rowe, Bob Snyder. I imagine Richard Stock has one too. I'm not sure, but I would imagine that he does. But yeah, those are the three that I know of, and this is one that I use, Michael Huggins. Okay, so because again, in my plan, I just want it to be the same. It's not that I have anything against these other people, but I just keep everything the same because I'm a simple man. Grew up on a dairy farm. We keep it simple, right? So did I have another question?
One more quick question. So I know,
all right, cool. Moving on. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, I think when you do your one-on-one plan, is that when you say you do the phone call and you bring in another community member normally to just as like third-party credibility? If that's the case, how do you handle that when you're doing it in person?
I don't. So for example, the way that I usually make most of my money is by helping people become 5-star. And so the third-party credibility in this one-on-one is usually the ICM who brought the person, and then I'm the one that's closing, basically. And so that's usually my experience. Now, if this is one of my prospects and I don't have any third party, then what I'll do there is in between these meetings, so as soon as they've seen the value and then we've met, then the next phase becomes third party credibility. Okay, and so that can be like, hey, let me just give you this person's phone number, and I've called that person beforehand, like, hey, can I give this person your phone number? Have them call you, give a little testimonial, start a group text. All right, so third party is just give out digits, phone number, 3-way text messages, sometimes 3-way calls. These ones are a little bit harder to do because somebody's got to you got to plan it, you got to have them block off time, so this is the one that I do the least. But 3-way text messages, or just, hey, I'll just give you their phone number and then you guys can chat. So third party, doing something like that. Or
what is a 3-way text message?
So for example, if I text you and Tim at the same time, that's a 3-way text, or a group text message. 3-way text, a group text message, basically.
Okay.
And so, or live. Let's see here. Let me actually put this up here because this is the most valuable here. Live group events. Just get them to come to another event. So notice that people like this watch video to one-on-one with me. I get them, and oftentimes that's their first exposure to a group event. I've had people put their money in, $20,000, before they ever make it to that first group event. Not always, but sometimes, right? And so anyway, you guys get it. Now, let me talk about this gentleman. He was very qualified, very good credit score, a little money set aside because, again, he's been thinking real estate investing with his wife, with his new bride. And so, they've been planning this. And so we chat, we meet one-on-one. I get him to, some 3-way text messages. And of the next few weeks, and he commits, oh yeah, I will, apply on Get Funded. I'll get some cards. I'll get some money. I'll get some, let's do this, right? He was always job. I'm like, cool, let's on, your game plan, right? So in essence, once we've got what we need, then I call the plan. This is where we are carding already in, and this is where we education. Cool, you're going to watch this first, you're going to watch this first, second, we're going to watch this third, right? And so I help them get access, and I basically I show them, here's the plan. You're going to watch these classes for now, but these ones, and your focus, and you're well on your way, okay? And so I pitched that as like, hey, this is another very valuable meeting because I'm going to show you exactly what to do so you never wonder what to do next for the next month or two. And people love that phrase. But in essence, I was stuck with this Thomas gentleman let me change colors here. I was stuck with this Thomas gentleman in here because I kept on talking about this, and he's like, yeah, that sounds great. And then he would show up, hadn't done the homework that I did his stuff, right? And every single time he's like, yeah, I'll do it. He's so excited. Never did it. Now I let this happen. This is my own fault. I let this happen like 5 or 6 times where we met one-on-one, and I was like, well, I blocked off an hour anyway, so let's just get into it. Let me show you some stuff, right? And I just started showing some cool stuff. We should have had just been like, cool, let's just do it right now, right? But then he would always pull it back and like, wow, he basically want me to sell him all over again and just give him new. Anyway, that goes on for a few times. And this is why this kind of hurt me, because by the end, he's like, let me be honest with you, Daine. I've actually just been trying to milk it. I've been trying to milk you for every ounce of information that I can, because I'm going to go try this on my own. And if I get stuck, I'll call you. And that one kind of cut me deep. I was like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me, dude? I've invested hours of my time with you. I didn't say this to him, but it did. It kind of cut me deep. And I was a little bit perturbed with that, because we're just like moving around back and forth, and helping him one-on-one. And then he finally just like gone, total rejection. So I don't think I told that story that time where I was just dropping all my rejection, but guess who emailed me like right around that time, a couple of weeks ago. He emails me and he says, hey, Daine, are you still doing the real estate thing? I mean, we're friends on Facebook at this point, so he knows I am, but hey, you still doing that real estate thing? And we reconnected, and he tells me this story of his experience for the last 5-6 months. Because it was like right before Christmas, where he's like, yeah, I'm going to go try this myself. So in the last 5 or 6 months, let's see, we're in June, so it's 5 months at the time, he basically lost all of his money, and he is in debt because he tried to do real estate investing by himself. Lost everything. He gave some other guy a bunch of money, and that guy lost his money. He invested in some other program, and it ended up just being a big sham. So he lost everything, whole life savings. And he comes crawling back and he says, all right, Daine, I'm ready. Let's do this. Right. And so when he gave me that final rejection back in December, I chose to, try to be a good human being and just say, you know what, that's fine. If that's what you want to choose to do, if that's how you want to work it, then go and try and do this by yourself. Call me when you get stuck though. You know, but anyway, so because I chose to still maintain our friendship, even though he blatantly rejected me, he called me back, and he actually just bought his, you know, he's out of money, and so he's like, the best thing I can do is my advanced combo, and so he just bought his advanced combo with the intention to upgrade as soon as he can. What I hope that you guys got out of this is, obviously, I hope you have a plan, even if it's on a napkin. But the rejection, even though it's real, just move on, right? I've had this mindset. So I think it was Ahmed, you know, asking about the do's. Let me give you one more do. Always, 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 always choose the mindset that, you know what, if this is not for you right now, you're just not ready. I'm going to put you in my not interested box, and I'm going to go help somebody else. And you and I might circle back. You know, in fact, I've gone to the extent of actually saying this to people before. But yeah, like, that's totally fine. If you're not interested right now, I'm going to go help somebody else. And you and I can circle back. Whether we circle back in a month, in 6 months, in a year, I don't care. But we'll circle back one way or another. But for now, I'm going to go help. And that's been the easiest mindset for me, to just create the closure, to move on, help somebody else. And I did. Helped a bunch of other people, you know, close combos in the last, you know, whatever. And here this gentleman is, he's a new student, and he's on fire, right? It's crazy. It's almost as if he needed all of that failure to happen before he was ready to join Renatus. Because I guarantee it would have been easy for him to start getting involved back then. He wouldn't have treated it the same way that he's treating it right now. And you will find the same thing for anybody that doesn't buy right now, and then they come back later. They will have a new fire. I mean, this might even be you. If you've been a part of Renatus for a while, and then it's like, you know, you get all this rejection, and then you slip away for a while. You come back. With fire, and things happen. I was the same way. I joined Renatus and then got kind of pissed because I wasn't getting results that I wanted, and I stopped coming. And then something happened in my life, and I was like, holy crap, I spent $20,000 on this. I'm gonna get my money's worth. And I came back with a renewed sense of fire, and that's when I made my first dollar. So anyway, we're at the top of the hour. Hope this was helpful for you guys. Show you guys some rejection. Make sure you guys have a plan, because it's happening. And I'm seeing more rejection now than I ever have in my Renatus career because of what's going on in the world right now. So don't feel like you're the only one if you face rejection. Just have that mindset of, you know what, you are not ready. I am going to go help somebody else.
Hey, Daine.
So, all right, guys, that's what I got for you. Go ahead, Alvin.
You said you were going to post something in a Facebook group. What Facebook group would that be?
That'll be the Renatus Team Elevate Facebook group. I believe I saw somebody post this in the chat.
Okay. And can you also
so are you a part
of that re-engagement script?
of the
I think it must be over.
again? Did you see that? Did I lose? You guys still hear me?
We can
I
hear
hear you.
you a little in and out, but you sound a little clearer now.
I was going to ask you if you could also paste put that re-engagement strip that you talked about in there on Facebook as well, please.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, I will do the same thing. So I'll jump on there right now and I'll type these out real fast. So engagement, and what was the other one? That I promised. I promised engagement and what was the other one? I can't remember. I think it was engagement. But all right, guys, I'll jump on and do that right now. Love you all. See you next week. Happy West Wednesday.
Thank you.